The massive coalition flagship Eternal Dominance broke through the darkness of space, leading hundreds of sleek warships into Earth's orbit. They looked like metallic stars surrounding the planet. Admiral Taiho stood on the bridge with his forearms clasped behind his back. His mandibles clicked as he waited. "Broadcast our message to all their communication channels," he ordered, his voice deep and confident. On Earth, Dr. Hannah Park watched the holographic display in the United Earth Defense Headquarters. The blue light from the screen lit up her tired face. Military officials from countries around the world stood silently as the alien commander appeared on screen. The alien had 4 arms and strange insect-like features. His exoskeleton gleamed under the lights of his ship. "People of Earth," Admiral Taiho began, "I am Admiral Taiho of the Galactic Coalition. We have studied your violent history. You are not fit to join peaceful space civilizations. Surrender now, and we will show mercy. Resist, and we will destroy you." The screen changed to show other planets being attacked from space. Cities burned. People ran. Entire civilizations fell in days. The coalition wanted to scare Earth into giving up. Hannah had worked with soldiers for 20 years. She knew trauma and war better than most. As she watched the footage, she frowned. "Something's not right about their tactics," she whispered, leaning forward. General Dahyun stood next to her. He was tall with gray at his temples and scars on his hands from years of service. "What do you mean?" he asked quietly. Hannah pointed at the screen. "Look at how they fight. It's too clean, too perfect, like they've never faced anyone who fought back hard." General Dahyun studied the footage more carefully. He saw what she meant. The coalition forces moved in perfect lines. They never adapted to surprises. They never had to change plans. "You think they're not as experienced as they want us to believe?" he asked. "I'm not sure," Hannah replied. "But their psychological tactics are too obvious. They're trying to overwhelm us with fear, not strategy." The United Earth Defense Council gathered in the underground meeting room. Leaders from every nation argued for 12 hours. Some wanted to surrender immediately. They feared the aliens' superior technology. "We've seen what they can do," said one diplomat. "We have no chance. If we surrender, we give up everything that makes us human," argued another. "Our freedom. Our right to choose our own path." Hannah presented her analysis. "Their tactics suggest they might not be prepared for prolonged resistance. They expect quick surrender." General Dahyun nodded. "Humans have fought each other for thousands of years. We know war. We know suffering. We know how to keep fighting when everything seems lost." As the hours passed, more council members began to agree. Humanity would not bow down easily. When the vote came, the decision was made. Earth would fight. General Dahyun stood before the communication screen. Behind him, the flags of Earth's nations hung together in unity for perhaps the first time in history. He straightened his uniform and looked directly at the camera. His voice was calm and determined. "Admiral Taiho, I speak for Earth. We have received your message and considered your terms." On the coalition flagship, Admiral Taiho waited confidently. No species had ever refused surrender. His mandibles clicked in anticipation. General Dahyun continued, "We respectfully decline your offer." Admiral Taiho froze. His forearms twitched in surprise. This was not in his experience. This was not in any coalition military protocol. "You decline?" he asked, his voice revealing confusion. "Yes," General Dahyun replied simply. "Humanity will defend itself." The alien commander regained his composure. "Then you choose extinction. We will begin our attack in 12 Earth hours." The transmission ended. On the coalition bridge, officers rushed to prepare battle plans. They had never needed a backup strategy before. In the Earth headquarters, Hannah looked at General Dahyun. "Did you see his reaction? He was shocked that we didn't surrender." "Yes," the general nodded. "I think you're right, Doctor. They expect fear to do their work for them. They don't know that humans have faced fear every day of our existence and still kept going. Around the world, militaries prepared, civilians moved to shelters. Scientists worked frantically to understand alien technology from previous scans. Hannah looked out the window at the night sky, now filled with enemy ships. "They think they know war," she said quietly, "but they've never met humans before." The sky over Seoul turned orange as coalition ships fired from orbit. Their weapons hit power stations first, then communication centers, then military bases. The aliens followed their plan perfectly. They had conquered many worlds this way. Earth should surrender in 2 days. But Earth did not surrender. Major Jinwoo crawled through broken concrete as dust filled the air. His Special Forces team moved silently through what was left of downtown Seoul. They wore torn uniforms covered in dirt and ash to blend in with the ruins. Through his scope, Jinwoo watched alien soldiers march down the wide avenue. They moved in perfect lines, 5 by 5. Each soldier exactly 3 steps from the next. They looked the same as in the training videos they had studied. "Look at them," Jinwoo whispered to his team through their secure comm. "They're fighting by the book, but they've never read our book." Sergeant Min crouched beside him. "They're so organized, like they're on parade." "That's their weakness," Jinwoo replied. "They don't adapt." Jinwoo gave the signal. His team split into pairs, moving through hidden paths in the rubble. The aliens never looked up. They never checked the shadows. They simply marched forward, weapons ready, following their perfect formation. The first explosion came from the left, a simple trap made from civilian materials. The aliens turned as one unit toward the sound. That's when Jinwoo's team attacked from 3 different directions. The battle lasted less than 2 minutes. Similar scenes played out across Earth. The coalition established their first ground base near Busan, expecting Earth forces to attack in traditional military style. Instead, they faced constant surprises. Farmers became snipers. Teachers built bombs. Children acted as scouts. The coalition soldiers did not know how to react. Their training had no chapter on fighting an entire population. They became confused when their perfect formations broke. They panicked when separated from their units. 3 weeks into what should have been a quick victory, Major Jinwoo received new orders. His team would capture coalition technology. "Intelligence says there's a damaged scout ship in the mountains," he told his team as they gathered in an abandoned subway tunnel. "It crashed during the initial attack. Coalition forces are moving to recover it, but we can get there first." The mission was dangerous. They traveled only at night, hiding during the day from coalition air patrols. On the 3rd day, they found the ship. It had crashed into a forest, cutting a long path through the trees. "Perimeter security," Jinwoo ordered. His team moved quickly, securing the area. The ship was smaller than they expected. Its silver hull was dented but mostly intact. The door hung open. "Careful," Jinwoo said as they approached. "Could be survivors." Inside, they found one dead alien pilot. The ship's systems still hummed with power. Sergeant Min, who had studied engineering before joining the military, examined the control panel. "I think I can figure this out. The design is logical." They worked through the night, downloading data and studying the ship's systems. By morning, they had collected more information about coalition technology than all Earth scientists combined. "This will change everything," Jinwoo said, looking at the data storage device in his hand. "If we can understand their technology, we can fight back better." At United Earth Defense Headquarters, Dr. Hannah Park studied video footage of captured coalition soldiers. Something was very wrong with them. Many sat in their cells rocking back and forth. Others stared blankly at walls. Some screamed at nothing. "What are you seeing?" General Dahyun asked, standing behind her. "Something unexpected," Hannah replied. She pointed to one screen showing an alien soldier who hadn't moved for hours. This one saw his unit killed in an ambush. He's been like this since then. She switched to another screen. This one was captured after 2 weeks of fighting. He can't stop shaking. General Dahyun frowned. Stress reactions, like PTSD in humans. Yes, but much worse, Hannah said. I don't think they've evolved the mental defenses we have. Humans have fought wars for thousands of years. Our minds have adapted to handle combat stress. She turned to face the general. They've never experienced extended warfare. Their minds can't process what's happening. General Dahyun considered this information. So their advantage is technology. And our advantage is psychological resilience. Hannah finished. They're breaking down much faster than human soldiers would. The general nodded slowly. How can we use this? Unpredictability. Pressure. Never let them rest or recover, Hannah said. Their minds can't handle the chaos of real war. As they spoke, across the planet, humanity fought with everything they had. Not just with weapons, but with courage and creativity the aliens couldn't understand. And slowly, the perfectly organized coalition forces began to crack. Admiral Tahoe's forehands trembled as he read the reports. 1 month had passed since they arrived at Earth. By now, the humans should have surrendered. Instead, his ships were being damaged. His soldiers were dying. Nothing was going according to plan. Impossible, he shouted, throwing the tablet across the command room. How are these primitives still fighting? We destroyed their power stations, their military bases, their communications. The bridge of the eternal dominance was silent. No officer dared speak. Finally, Commander Subin stepped forward. She was smaller than Tahoe, with lighter-colored skin plates, but her reputation for honesty had earned her position. Admiral, she said quietly, I must report something concerning. Tahoe's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of irritation. Speak. Subin brought up a holographic display showing medical reports. Our troops are breaking, sir. They're experiencing mental collapse at rates we've never seen before. Many refuse to return to Earth's surface after their first mission. Cowards, Tahoe hissed. Not cowardice, sir. It's something else. Subin expanded the display. Our medical officers don't even have a name for it. The soldiers experience nightmares, flashbacks, uncontrollable fear. Some become unable to function at all. Why? Tahoe demanded. The humans fight differently. They attack from all directions. They use tricks. They never stop. Our soldiers have no rest, no certainty. Subin paused. They can't handle the constant pressure these humans apply. On Earth, Major Jinwoo prepared his team for their most dangerous mission yet. They had studied the captured scout ship's technology for weeks. Now they understood enough to attempt something truly bold. We're going to raid a coalition command ship, Jinwoo told his 8 team members as they gathered in the underground bunker, using their own technology against them. Sergeant Min looked up from the alien device he was modifying. How do we even get up there? Jinwoo smiled. They're sending a transport ship to collect supplies from their base near Busan tonight. We're going to be on it when it returns. The plan was simple but dangerous. They had created fake coalition armor from the materials in the scout ship. It wouldn't fool anyone up close, but it might get them on board the transport. That night, as the alien ship landed, Jinwoo's team moved silently through the shadows. The coalition guards were distracted, rushing to load supplies. Jinwoo's team slipped aboard, hiding among cargo containers. Hours later, they reached the command ship. Alarms did not sound. No one stopped them. Using devices built from the scout ship's technology, they bypassed security and accessed a terminal. We need their medical and historical records, Jinwoo told Min as they worked. Dr. Park's theory needs confirmation. What they found was beyond their expectations. The coalition had no word for extended conflict. Their wars had always lasted days, not months. Their soldiers had never needed to develop resilience to combat stress. When they returned to Earth, Jin Woo reported directly to Dr. Park and General Da Hyun. "You were right," he said, placing the data device on the table. "According to their records, they have no concept of PTSD or combat fatigue. Their wars have always been quick demonstrations of power against species that surrendered immediately." Dr. Park studied the data carefully. "Then we need to change our strategy. If their weakness is psychological, that's where we hit hardest." General Da Hyun nodded. Psychological warfare. Within days, Earth forces changed tactics. They no longer just fought to win battles. They fought to break the aliens' minds. Humans set up speakers near coalition bases that played sounds of battle all night, preventing aliens from sleeping. They left behind fake ambush sites to make aliens fear every shadow. They used captured communication devices to broadcast sounds of injured coalition soldiers. Earth forces attacked, then disappeared before the aliens could respond. They left behind human symbols painted in alien blood. They made sure no coalition soldier ever felt safe, not even on their own bases. In space, Admiral Taiho faced a new crisis. Ships were breaking formation. Some simply turned around and left the system without orders. "What is happening?" he roared as another ship disappeared from the tactical display. Commander Subin's voice was heavy. "The Starfire and the Destiny have both left the system, sir. Their captains cited crew mental health emergency. Desertion. In the coalition fleet." Taiho couldn't believe it. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Subin showed him new reports. "Half our ground forces are now in medical care. The humans have somehow learned exactly how to break our people's minds." Outside the command room, officers whispered to each other. Some wondered if the admiral knew what he was doing. Others wondered if they should leave too. On the planet below, humans kept fighting. They had fewer weapons and simpler technology, but they had something the coalition never expected: minds hardened by thousands of years of conflict. Each human knew suffering. Each could bear pain and fear and still keep going. For the first time in coalition history, they faced an enemy who would not surrender. An enemy who knew how to endure. An enemy who understood war in ways they never had. And slowly, ship by ship, soldier by soldier, the great coalition force began to fall apart. Dr. Hada's eyes burned from staring at screens for so long. The underground command center was quiet at 3 a.m. Only the hum of computers and the occasional sip of coffee broke the silence. The data from Major Jin Woo's raid contained thousands of coalition files. As she decoded them, a pattern emerged that made her sit up straight. She checked again, running more searches. The results were always the same. "This can't be right," she whispered to herself. She worked through the night, cross-referencing military records, medical reports, and historical documents. By morning, dark circles framed her eyes, but excitement energized her tired body. General Da Hyun called an emergency meeting of the Defense Council when he received her message. Military leaders from around the world gathered quickly. Hannah stood before them, her voice clear despite her exhaustion. "The coalition has never fought a real war," she explained, displaying translated documents on the main screen. "Their entire military history consists of intimidating displays against species that surrendered immediately." Murmurs filled the room. General Da Hyun leaned forward. "Explain." "Every conquest in their records followed the same pattern," Hannah continued. "They arrive with overwhelming force. The target species surrenders within days. They've never faced prolonged resistance before." She showed medical records next. "They have no treatments for what we call combat stress. No protocols for extended campaigns. No concept of sustained conflict." A council member asked, "Are you saying they don't know how to fight a real war?" "Exactly," Hannah nodded. "They're technological bullies. They've evolved in an environment where showing force was enough. They never needed to develop the psychological resilience the humans have." The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. "How do we use this?" General Da Hyun finally asked. Hannah smiled. We tell every coalition soldier the truth. Major Jinwoo received new orders the next day. His team had become heroes after their successful raid on the command ship. Now they were being asked to do something even more dangerous. We're going to hack their entire communication network, he told his team as they gathered in their makeshift lab. We'll broadcast a message to every coalition ship and soldier. Sergeant Min whistled. That's impossible. No, Jinwoo corrected him. Difficult, but not impossible. We understand their technology better now. They worked for 3 days straight, using the captured data to build a device that could access the coalition's main communication frequencies. Dr. Hana helped craft the message. On the 4th day, they were ready. Jinwoo's hand hovered over the activation switch. This will change everything, he said. Then he pressed it. Aboard the coalition flagship, Eternal Dominance, Admiral Taiho was arguing with his officers when every screen on the bridge suddenly changed. A human face appeared, a male with determined eyes. Stop that transmission, Taiho shouted, but his communications officer couldn't. The signal was overriding their systems. Attention all coalition forces, Jinwoo began. You've been lied to. Humans aren't just another species to subjugate. We are forged through thousands of years of warfare. The message continued, playing on every coalition device, in every ship, to every soldier. What you're experiencing, the fear, the nightmares, the confusion, isn't abnormal. It's what real war feels like. Your leaders never prepared you for this because they didn't know. Jinwoo's voice grew stronger. We've seen your medical records, your military history. You've never faced a species that fights back like we do. You've never experienced true conflict. He continued, humans have been fighting each other for our entire history. War has shaped us, hardened us. What breaks your minds, we've learned to endure. The bridge of the flagship was silent. Every officer watched, unable to look away. As the reason, your leaders told you this would be an easy conquest. They were wrong. They sent you into something they don't understand. Jinwoo's message ended with a simple truth. Now you know why you're losing. Not because humans have better technology or stronger bodies, but because we understand war in ways you never have. The transmission ended. On the flagship's bridge, no one spoke for several moments. Then officers began whispering to each other. Some looked at Admiral Taiho with new eyes. Is it true? One officer finally asked aloud. Have we never fought a real war before? Admiral Taiho's mandibles clicked rapidly. Return to your stations. This is human propaganda. But the damage was done. The coalition forces had seen their own records displayed in the message. They recognized their own medical reports. The evidence was too strong to dismiss. Reports began coming in from other ships. Crews were refusing orders. Some demanded to speak with their commanders. Others were simply sitting at their stations, unwilling to continue fighting. Commander Subin entered the bridge, her normally perfect posture now tense. She approached Admiral Taiho carefully. Sir, she said, her voice shaking slightly, the fleet is refusing orders. They want to withdraw. Admiral Taiho stared at her. That's mutiny. No, sir, Subin replied quietly. It's understanding. For the first time, they understand what we're truly facing. She looked around at the other officers on the bridge, then back to the Admiral. And so do I. We were never prepared for this. We were never prepared for humans. 3 days after the broadcast, Earth's defense systems detected a single coalition shuttle approaching. Unlike the warships before it, this small vessel displayed a white flag, an ancient human symbol of truce that the aliens had researched. General Da-hyun watched the shuttle's approach on the command center's main screen. They're following the flight path we gave them exactly, he noted. Dr. Hana stood beside him, her hands clasped tightly together. Do you think this is genuine? We'll find out soon enough, he replied. The shuttle landed at the neutral meeting site in Geneva. Once a beautiful city center, now the area showed the scars of war. Broken buildings stood against the backdrop of the Swiss mountains. Commander Subin stepped out first. She wore a formal coalition uniform, but no weapons. Her 4 arms were clearly visible, showing she held nothing. Behind her, 2 other coalition officers followed at a respectful distance. Admiral Taiho isn't with them, Hana observed through binoculars. That's interesting, General Dahyun said. The meeting took place in a conference room that had survived the fighting. Swiss peacekeepers had prepared the space with a large round table. Flags from Earth nations lined the walls. Dr. Hana and General Dahyun entered first, flanked by security. When Commander Subin and her officers were brought in, everyone sat down. Subin placed her 4 hands flat on the table. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," she began formally. "I speak with the full authority of the coalition fleet. Where is Admiral Taiho?" General Dahyun asked directly. "Admiral Taiho has been relieved of command," Subin replied. Her mandibles twitched slightly, a sign of discomfort. "After your broadcast, the fleet officers voted to remove him. I now lead our forces." Dr. Hana leaned forward. "That sounds like quite a change in your command structure." "Many things have changed," Subin admitted. "We never expected." She paused, searching for words. "We never expected humans." The room was silent for a moment. Then Subin straightened in her chair. "We request cessation of hostilities," she said formally, "and wish to establish diplomatic relations." General Dahyun's face remained neutral. "On what terms?" "Recognition of Earth sovereignty," Subin replied immediately. "Complete withdrawal of coalition forces from your system." She hesitated before adding, "And we request a knowledge exchange." Dr. Hana raised an eyebrow. "Knowledge exchange?" Subin's 4 hands made a gesture that translated roughly to sincerity. "The coalition has superior technology, but humans have something we lack: an understanding of conflict resolution and psychological resilience. Our species never developed these traits because we never needed them. Now we recognize their value." The talks continued for days. Agreement was reached. The coalition would withdraw all military forces. Earth would remain sovereign, and humans would share their understanding of conflict, not to teach war, but to teach how to endure it, process it, and ultimately prevent it. 6 months later, Dr. Hana stood on the observation deck of the coalition diplomatic vessel, New Understanding. Earth looked like a blue marble growing smaller as they traveled toward the coalition homeworld. As Earth's first ambassador, she would help establish a training program where humans would serve as advisors and peacekeepers. The door to the observation deck slid open. Hana turned to see who had entered. It was Taiho, the former admiral, now stripped of rank and position. He walked differently now, less confident, more careful. "May I join you, Ambassador?" he asked formally. Hana nodded. "Of course." They stood side by side, watching Earth disappear into the darkness of space. After several minutes of silence, Taiho spoke. "I still don't understand how you defeated us," he said quietly. "We had better ships, better weapons, more soldiers." Hana smiled sadly. "That's exactly why you lost. You thought you'd seen war, but you'd only seen its shadow." Taiho's mandibles clicked softly, a sound Hana had learned meant confusion. "I don't understand." The coalition approached conflict as a simple equation, Hana explained. More power equals victory. But real war isn't about who has the biggest weapons. It's about who can endure the most suffering and still keep fighting. She turned to face him. "Humans have been hurting each other for thousands of years. We've learned how to process pain, fear, and loss. Not because we wanted to, but because we had to. And we never did," Taiho acknowledged. "Now both our species can work towards something better." Hana said. "What's that?" the former admiral asked. "A galaxy where understanding comes before conquest," Hana replied, looking back at the stars. "Where strength is measured not by the wars you win, but by the ones you prevent." Taiho considered her words. I would like to learn this wisdom, he said finally. That, said Hana, is where peace begins.